Hey guys, it's DNA Disc Golf.
And we're back with you guys with another in the bag video. We tried to post it in the bag before we went to DDO for you guys. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, so now we're back post DDO with a new in the bag for you guys. We have a lot of new additions to our bag, a lot of things we learned playing in such high winds. But before we get started, I think Danny wants to share just some stuff going on with her for this upcoming month.
So if you guys haven't seen already, I am taking the next month off of tournaments because I was having some shoulder issues during DDO and went and got checked out, and come to find out I have thoracic outlet syndrome, which is essentially I have inflammation in my shoulder that's pinching a nerve, and it's causing me shoulder pain and tingling in the hands. So just taking a month off, doing some therapy, just gonna maybe play casually where it allows me to stop when needed, not keep track of my score, and not have to throw every hole, so then I can be ready for hopefully iOS and Rockford, but we'll just see how that goes.
Yeah, so what other than to do than to make some fun content for you guys. Danny's excited, I'm excited, help keep her mind off of things, help get you guys some fun insight into, just what we're doing, preparing for this next 8-tier event. All right, so I think we're gonna start putters, and then we'll go through the normal spiel that we normally do: putters, mid-ranges, fairways, drivers. And I think Danny's ready to start off. She looks like she's ready.
So first we're gonna start off with our putters and our approach discs. For my putting putters right now, I have been putting with Emac Judges, but down at DDO we got these sick alpacas, so I think I'm gonna try and get these in the bag while I'm on while I'm not doing tournaments this month. I'm going to try and practice with these and see if these click more. Before, for my overstable approach putter, I was using the Dynamic Disc Rainmaker, but before I was using the Blend Glow alpacas. So I'm going to try these out again for my overstable approach disc. These are also Blend alpacas, but this is Glow, so should have a little bit more stability. Same understable putter is going to be the medium prototype Keystone. For approach discs, I got myself a new K3 Berg. My other one was pretty beat up and it was pretty straight, so I needed to get a new one, so I got one down at DDO. New to the bag is the Ricky Slammer prototype. I have a feeling that I'm going to click with this more than my zone. My zone was getting a little beat up and it was a little bit too straight and went a little bit too far for my liking. So I am going to try and put this Ricky Slammer in the bag along with my K1 Berg. It's going to be a little bit more stable than my K3 Berg, and it's going to go a little bit less further than the Ricky Slammer. And lastly, for my approach, this is like a mid-range, but I use it for an approach disc when I want something straight or understable, and that will stick, is going to be this Glow Blend Anubis.
Pretty solid lineup. Uh-oh, my turn. There's a lot of changes in my bag that I did not foresee coming until we got back from DDO. Start with my putters, we'll go into my approaches. Two familiar faces that you guys have probably seen. One is my Emac Judge. This is a classic burst, really soft, gummy. I've seasoned this thing up to be understable, or really just holds any line I put it on. It still has a bit of stability, but more of a straight flyer than anything. Then when I'm looking for something off the tee, I have my Thought Space Athletic Praxis. This is still in the bag, will be in the bag. Was throwing this a little bit at Delhi the past weekend, and this thing was getting put on some lines, and I seriously can't get enough of this disc. It is so good for a flyer premium plastic putter. A new change or addition to the bag. I already had this one in the bag in a different plastic, but it was time to put back in the K3 Berg. This is such a great approach disc for me. It's straight to slight understable, kind of similar to my Emac, but this holds a line a little bit better with a little bit more torque and power, and it's kind of dead straight. Bought this at DDO, played my second round, ended up cashing in for 120-foot throw-in. Yeah, that's how good these are. Now, for the heavy hitters, my putters. I was putting with Emac Judges, love them, still do, but thought it was time to try something new, and I figured no other putter than to try some Blend Alpacas. Picked these up at Delwood, played a whole round with them, making some pretty good putts. I'd say put a pretty good biz with them. Feeling comfortable, definitely deeper than Emacs, of course. Don't have a bead or micro bead, but I have a feeling I'm going to be jiving with these pretty well. These come to work out soon. I'll be tossing in some of my Eric Oakley Blend Alpacas, just like Danny's. Now for my approach disc. Two are always the same. I won't spend too much time talking on them. K1 soft, K1, great additions to my bag. Straight to slightly stable, as the hamburger on there just depicts it, beefy, greasy. Then I added a new approach disc to my bag. That is going to be a classic blend verdict. I used to have this in my bag more for winter because of how soft it is. Then put it back in around DDO time. High winds, didn't want something to skip, needed tackier feel. This was the perfect spot. Put it back in my bag, loving it. Then, as Danny saw, messing around with this disc at Delwood as well, and it is very good. Ricky Resaki Proto Slammer. Definitely a staple in my bag, just like that, without question. Great compliment to my Bergs, great compliment to my verdict. Loving this disc for both forehand, backhand. All right, Danny, pick up those mid ranges.
Next are our mid ranges, and I'm gonna go from least stable to most stable. Starting off is this Synergy Dive Spheya. Beautiful. Got another white one that I'm gonna be sending to him, so I'm excited to see what he does with it. This is legit my Anheuser, something that I want to get around the corner for short shots. Next is my Blend Anubis. This is dead straight. If I'm wanting to get short shots in the woods, this is what I'm going to be pulling for. Next, a little bit more stability. This is straight with that slight fade that I can get to the basket, is going to be my Meadow Flake Blend Chariot. Next, something similar to Antonio's. This is the Classic Blend Verdict. This is my stable mid-range is the Verdict. I got 3 in my bag. This one is going to stick, like he said. It's not going to be as stable as my other ones, but I can still rely on it to fade back and just stick. Then my Hybrid Verdict, it's going to be a little bit more stable than that Classic Verdict and get that little skip if I need it. And lastly, for my most stable is this Lucid X Old Run Verdict. And that's it.
My turn. Quite a few changes to this as well. DDO really opened my eyes to some new shots, wanting me to try some new stuff, and let's say it worked out for the best. First one in my bag, still that trusty old faithful, K1 Spheya, dyed by Tim Perkins, Synergy Dyes. This thing has been in my bag, will be in my bag until I hopefully don't lose it, but until I don't need it anymore. K1 Spheya. Back in the bag, it's not a K1, but this is a, oh my goodness, gold, no, not gold mine. Fusion Bounty, that was a tongue twister for me. Fusion Bounty DD, put this back in the bag. Great straight to slightly understable flyer. Glad I put this in the bag. The glide on this is amazing. New addition to the bag here is going to be a ThoughtSpace Athletics, almost said practice, Pathfinder. This again is going to be a good complement to that Bounty straight flyer with a little bit more stability. This thing has immense glide. I was very surprised at some of the throws I was getting with it. New one to the bag. But I still have my Chariot in the bag as well, my Glow Sea Line. This thing is still a great flyer. It's going to be probably competing against a Gatekeeper here in the foreseeable future. Not that I don't like it. The glide on it's fine. It just, I feel like I'm missing something. So we're going to revisit the Gatekeeper, but right now, Sea Line Chariot. Glow. Of course, overstable, got that Verdict, first round prototype, Truth Tooled Verdict. This thing has been a staple in my bag. Loving the Verdict, straight with that dependable finish. 167 grams, so pretty light, but still a great flyer. Then, of course, a more stable complement, Headwind Fighter, Windy Day Fighter, my Lucid X Verdict. Looking for that skip. Got that one. Of course, Justice, 3 Glide, need I say more? favorite overstable fairway or mid-range. Then this one's more of a mid-range more than an approach to me. That is the Castaplash K1 yarn. This thing is fast in the hand, low profile, flies like a mid, so it's one of my overstable mid-approach discs, if you will. Fairways.
Fairway time. Again, I'm going to do my least stable to most stable. First is going to be my Blind Sphinx. I have been loving this for my anhyzer shots and straight shots. I can put lines on these. I used this at DDO a lot. Even though there was wind, I had some anhyzer shots since I don't have that forehand. So this is what I'm using for these anhyzer shots, along with my swirly S-Blend Sphinx, the Zoe and Dyke. This one's going to be a little bit more stable, so it will come out of that anhyzer a little bit, and or it'll just go dead straight if I throw it flat. Next is going to be my S-Blend Centurion. This is going to be a straight flyer for me. Next stability up is going to be my Exodus. I have the Splatter Blend Exodus and the Metal Flake Glow Eric Oakley Exodus. This is going to be slightly stable, and this one's going to be a little bit more stable. And lastly, my utility disc is going to be this Color Glow Sea Blend Scepter, Drew Gibson. This thing is beefy. And that's it for my fairways.
Surprise visitor, as always, the disc golf kitty cat, Romeo, kitty cat. Stopping in to say hi. Oh. All right, not too much of a change. Couple new additions to my fairway game. My fairway slash like hybrids, I guess you call it. Go to get out of jail free card, Gold Line Explorer, season beyond season. This thing is now understable, flies like a Maverick or even a Thief, probably by Dynamic. One of my great discs that I love in the woods or anything like that. Then a stable up from that is going to be my S-Blend. Is this S-Blend?
That's what I'm using.
S-Blend.
No, it's iBlend.
iBlend, sorry, Infinite Disc Centurion. This is a great complement to that Gold Line Explorer. It is understable, but holds that line a little bit better and just pans out rather than just dumping. Two competitors going head to head here. First one is my old, very, very, very seasoned Gold Line, not Gold Line, Opto Ricky Explorer. This is from his time with Latitude back probably 4 years ago, maybe now. At least I think that's about close. Yeah, that's about close how old this thing is. 4 years old, seasoned to be dead straight with that hold. A little slight drift to the right. Then for a more stable complement, the new addition, the Thought Space Athletics Votum. This is a very similar flight feel to an Explorer, but it has a little bit more of a finish at the end of its flight rather than just panning straight and kind of just dropping with a slight fade. Really liking this, feels really good in the hand. Little nice swirls in there, and of course I had to get it because it's Eric Oakley. Of course, got the Felon in the bag. Without the Felon, I don't know where I'd be. This one's seasoned, a little bit more straighter, can definitely get a little bit more torque on it, kind of carry straight, but still using it for any overstable shot I have. And then one that I just can't seem to get rid of yet, Discmania S-Line CD2. This is a money disc, good complement to my Fairways Explorers. Definitely a little bit more distance, but kind of holds a little bit of a hyzer. Really loving this disc. Good for forehands too. Haven't been really forehanding too much, but this is holding just well for that low power forehand.
I also have an iBlend Centurion, but I put it in my box to get dyed for Tim.
It is. Okay.
So next is gonna be my hybrid slash distance drivers for me. I have finally found some distance drivers that are working for me. First is going to be my Infinite Disc Maya. I have an iBlend. This one's gonna go pretty straight for me. Maybe have that S line, and then my Splatter Blend Maya. This one's gonna be a little bit more stable. It will hold up in the wind a little bit more.
Funny story real quick. I threw her, it was that one, right? The Splatter Maya at DDO for a roller, and let me just say, I'm surprised she got it back. I threw the best roller of my career ever. Parked 380 foot hole with it. Low ceiling all the way.
Next, for something a little bit more stable, is going to be my Infinite Discs S Blend Dynasty, Eric Oakley's signature series. This one is just going to be a little bit more stable. I can like turn it over a little bit and rely on it to fade back. This is a staple in my bag. I love this disc. I rely on this disc. I can rely on this to fade back, and I can get some crazy distance with it. I love the Discmania S-Line PD. So thanks, Tim, for introducing me to this one. It is penned and lightweight. Next is going to be my Infinite Disc Pharaoh. This one is a swirly S-Blend, and this one is not a swirly S-Blend. This is just an S-Blend Pharaoh, and this is a Dave Feldberg Metal Flake Glow Pharaoh. These things hold up in the wind, and I can crank on these and rely on these to come back. And lastly, probably my furthest throwing disc is the iBlend Emperor. This thing I can just crank on, and for some reason it's the fastest disc in my bag, but it goes the furthest. And then for a more stable like utility shot, or just something that's going to hold up in the wind a little bit more than this iBlend, is going to be the Garrett Gurthie Swirly S-Blend.
Alright, my turn. No new additions, one new replacement, unfortunately. I sacrificed one of my drivers to the water in Emporia. Maybe I'll get it back, who knows. But starting off with my kind of like power drivers, I got the ThoughtSpace Athletic Anubis. This thing has been great. I threw it a lot of DDO. Really starting to love the flight I'm getting out of this. Straight to stable finish. But fights in a headwind, but it can be a bit tricky if you throw it too flat. It'll kind of just not fade back. But it's a really good complement to a PD. I'd say it flies like an S-Line PD to me that's seasoned. But really like this disc. Really loving it. Then of course I got my C-Line Discmania PD. This thing has been money. Overstable beefcake, but a really good complement to that Animus. Been really starting to love this from backhand. More used to only forehanding it, but with not forehanding, beginning to learn it backhand and loving it. Then of course I got my Bomber, which is my really beat up Grand Grace. This thing has been in my bag since they first dropped, I think, for the first runs. It has seen a lot of field work and trees and fairways, and this thing is now understable. I use it for more kind of just Anheuser, kind of just drift to the right shots without it coming out of its flight. I will use it for tailwind bomber shots, but definitely a staple in my bag I just can't get rid of. Of course, I gotta have the DD3. I have my S-Line Lightweight Discmania DD3. This is the Clash logo one. This is what I'm using for those bomber shots. Headwind, little wind, left to right. This is what I'm using for that all-out distance. This thing goes far. Great compliment to my S-Line Max Weight DD3 that I have, but can't get enough out of this one. Definitely seen some battle wounds on that one. So I sacrificed my true distance driver, and I had to put in a new one, so no other one to put in than my dyed S-Line Tim Perkins Synergy dyed DD3. Put this one in my bag, and I think this one flies better than my other one. This thing just has a lot more glide, has a nice full flex flight out of it, and hopefully I don't lose this one because I'm running low on my stock of DD3s, but loving that one. Then of course, step up from that, I have my first run Rive. Definitely not as overstable as it used to be, but still more stable than my DD3 for a couple shot variations, but it's a great complement to it as well. A little fatter of a rim, a little faster, so definitely can get some crazy distance with this as well as the DD3. And then for my all-out headwind fighting windy day disc, this thing was putting in some work at DDO, the ThoughtSpace Athletics Synapse. This is the Aura plastic, I believe. Even in the winds down there, it wasn't holding. It was trying, but it's a great overstable disc. Starting to love it. Love how flat these are. They just feel good for forehand, backhand. I'm not a domey person, so the flatter the better for me. That's why I like my Rive so much, but definitely a good overstable distance driver I have. Don't really reach for it too much. Compliments to, I'd say it's comparable to Danny's what is it? Garrett the Emperor. Not as stable, but definitely close. That's all my distance drivers.
Some extra things in my bag
Bonus
are
content.
my minis. Got the sick one out at DDO. Double-sided. Of course, I have to have my Chinook sunflower seeds snack on the course. Got my whale sack. Keep my hands dry. Have a ball to kind of like roll out my my palm, like my shoulder. Oh yeah, my Bushnell is in here somewhere. I don't even know where it is right now.
I just got a bunch of random stuff. I'm just showing you guys
My
while Danny
Bushnell
talks.
I have usually.
Danny's got everything
It's
in my
downstairs. Got my quickie stick. And then got a like TheraBand to work out those muscles before or during a backup. But yeah.
That's everything for me. Yeah.
That's our in the bag. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I want you guys to comment with the tournament you're most looking forward to playing this season. Ours was DDO, but that was kind of a tie with North Carolina Clash. So DDO's over, so now it's Carolina Clash that's on the top of the list. So like Danny said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us through this journey. I know we've been kind of absent on posting, but that's not without reason. So thank you and peace.
Peace. Bonus clip.
So if you stayed, now you're in for some real treat. Last video we were supposed to share a special announcement with you guys. We weren't able to due to just uploading error. I don't know what it was, but let's just say technical difficulty. So right here is where we're going to finally share with you guys that exciting news we were looking forward to sharing with you guys before. And I'll let Danny take it over from here.
So obviously we want to make a logo for our brand, and as you know, our brand is DNA Disc Golf. So our friend Casey, how do you say his last
I'm a
name?
butcher at Frieding.
Was like, hey, like I'm trying to make logos for my brother or his friend or something. And he said that he wanted to practice on ours because he knew that we were trying to get our brand going, and made this sick logo for us. And you guys are going to be the first to see it. Here it is.
2022 DNA Disc Golf logo, fresh off the artwork from Casey. Thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully gonna maybe try to tweak it up a little bit, add it on some discs or some fun stuff. But thank you, Casey. We really appreciate it. And that's just another step in the right direction. Growing bigger every day, going better, and yeah. So thank you officially for sticking with us. Yeah. DNA Disc Golf signing off.
Peace.